Hello, and welcome to part 3 of this session regarding UFOs and disclosures. Today, we're going to take a little time talking about Earth's ancient civilizations. For those that don't know, again, Erich von Däniken wrote a book called Chariots of the Gods, and for 12 seasons, there has been a television show called Ancient Aliens. And what that television show has done is basically extend on Erich's book and looked for evidence of things that just cannot be. So the story of Adam and Eve is good, and there probably was a scenario like Adam and Eve, but what many people now think is that the Earth has actually had many ancient civilizations over time, and in some cases those civilizations were aided by extraterrestrials to help humans get smarter and help them build civilizations. There are many unusual things that ancient aliens have pointed out that some of you know and some of you don't, that just could not have been done by man. Even now, like building the Great Pyramids, moving 20-ton stones, the similarities between some of the paintings, pictures, and statues all over the world, even though there was no transportation and no contact with people from Asia and Europe and North America, they all have similar designs and similar shapes and similar obelisks, and they all worship the stars, and they all talk about star gods, or people that came down in fiery eggs that landed on Earth and came out, which were considered to be gods, because at that time we had no understanding of anything else. Nobody flew, and anybody that flew in on a fiery thing and landed must have been a god. And they had magical powers. They could move things. They had weapons. They had things that we understand and take for granted now, but at that time, and what ended up being written in Jewish scriptures and Hindu scriptures and Muslim scriptures, ancient Indian texts, Chinese texts, were fantastical stories of things that, when you think back on it now and look at some of the evidence, might have been from people from another world using their powers. I mean, what would an ant think of us? An ant sees giant monster walking around. The difference in the comprehension is probably the difference in comprehension that advanced civilization would have of humans. We may just be an amusement for them now. So to that point, I wanted you to understand that, and there are 12 seasons of Ancient Aliens. It's a U.S. show, I believe, on the History Channel, but I would think that it's been around for so long that episodes of that are probably available globally. And I would suggest you take a look at some of those episodes. And obviously starting at the earlier ones is better because they lay some of the groundwork and explain some things. But just to understand the fact that just like we talked about Mars and the moon, the Earth had ancient civilizations. They accomplished many things. They were apparently wiped out. And some of the remnants that are here we attribute to Egyptians or early Chinese, and some of that is true and some of that is not. So again, I ask you, if you're interested enough to watch this, to be interested enough to have an open mind and to take a look at some of those shows and see what you think about your opinion about the fact that some of these unexplainable things could have been done in ancient civilizations with the assistance of extraterrestrials. So I hope you find this interesting. Please let me know your comments and thoughts, and we'll be back with part 4 in the coming days. Probably start talking about UFOs. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye now.